Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, we'll be going over a recent interview from Alex Caruso in which he did bring up Grayson Allen. We'll also talk about GarPax and how they would have handled this offseason. And lastly, we'll be doing a draft profile on Malaki Branham. We'll get into all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls. You outdid yourself today.
I know.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls and listening to us, making this your first listen every day. Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network. Today, me and Pat got a few topics for you guys. We're jumping right into it. First off, Alex Caruso had an interview in which he brought up Grayson Allen and talked about that he did not necessarily forgive him for the play, but he didn't hold any grudges. Hey, this is Chicago, bro. We hold grudges in this city. I know Alex Caruso ain't from Chicago. What do you think about Alex Caruso not holding a grudge against Grayson Allen?
See, this is the thing, right? It's like I don't hold a grudge, but that don't mean I'm gonna forget. And when we come in the next season, I ain't holding a grudge. That don't mean you might not fall on your back. That don't mean you might not catch this ball. That don't mean, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I think it might be a little standing beef. He said, I hold no ill will for you. The funny part about it was he was like, what'd he say? He was like, us white guys in the league got to stick together because there's only like 10 of us. So, you know what I'm saying? But, what does it do for him to hold a grudge against Grayson Allen? And the funny part about it is, right, like, we're using Alex Caruso to defend much better players than Grayson Allen. And I think when you think about it, right, it's all until Grayson starts playing D a little more aggressive than normal next season, right? Like it's all fun and games until Grayson's trying to press up, then all of a sudden you hit him with oh my bad, bro. I ain't see your face right there. You know what I mean? So it was a funny interview. My favorite part is just like how he talked about Chicago, talked about Billy Donovan. And as for as many people want to see Billy Donovan get fired, how this team talks about Billy Donovan should excite you about Billy Donovan, because it tells you that what we see on the sidelines at times is not the dude that he is, because a guy with a high IQ like Alex Caruso and guys that have been in the league a long time wouldn't want to work with a Billy Donovan if he was out there giving you the Jim Boylan treatment on the sidelines. Yeah. And so it's always good to hear from the players, man. I have fun. I mean, listen, he's still bowing up Grayson Allen next year. I mean, let's be real.
Oh yeah. I mean, and this is the thing is that I love the fact that it seems like an old school rivalry is brewing between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Chicago Bulls, and we haven't had that. The last time we've had that is what, the Heatles and the Bulls with Joakim Noah, because Joakim Noah played like the best player in the NBA every time we played the Heat.
And then like the Bulls would get chippy with like Nazir Muhammad out of nowhere, just like Brian, just like, hey man, get up off of me.
But yeah, it really does seem like that, and it's good for the NBA. You don't want to see any of the dirty plays, right? You don't want to see plays like that cause Alex Caruso to get hurt. But even that playoff series, it got a little chippy there sometimes. And having Bobby Portis there, former Bull, still holding a slight grudge against the Bulls, whether he wants to admit it or not. Like, I really do like that. Now I do want to see us be more competitive in that rivalry, right? I don't want to just we already get beat up by a Wisconsin team in football every freaking year. I don't want to see it in basketball too.
Said he's retiring a Packer too. That's
listen, man. The only good thing in that is that hopefully by the end of that, Justin Fields can take over as the best quarterback in the division and beat Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Right? By the way, check out Locked On Bears. He's pretty good.
Locked On Bears?
Yeah, check out Locked On Bears. He's pretty good.
Yeah,
you know what? I love it. Here's the thing, right? How do the Bulls, and that could be the things that we need to talk about in the draft or in free agency that we haven't talked about, right? Like, let's be real. Rudy Gobert is going to bring talent. He's not bringing toughness. Alex Caruso's tough, but Alex Caruso's 6'5", 6'6". Who do we? Did I say Bear? Don't worry about it. Who do we find that's going to give the Bulls an edge? Is that guy in the draft? I will say I think that might be your Tari Eason a little bit more than anybody. But who's the guy that's gonna give the
Listen,
Bulls that edge, bruh?
I don't know in his first season, but as it goes on, Tari Eason and Bobby Portis going at it,
Bruh. You gonna
man.
come to
Listen,
blows at some point. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be talking about a 15-game suspension at some point.
I finally figured it out. That's what literally we signed Kofi only to play against the Bucks and to throw bows at Grayson Allen and Bobby
I'm
Portis.
gonna be real with you. That would be the perfect game for him to play.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm not even
be
joking
large
on that
down there.
Just be big. Like just
what you want from me, coach? Keep being 7 feet tall, brother. Go on down.
Run into a brick wall, but it's a charge, coach. It's fine. Don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry about that.
Don't even worry
Run into a brick wall. Oh, as it will. Play on words. But that's what the Bulls need. I mean, like, I get that the NBA is a little bit different, but even like the most finesse team in the league in the Golden State Warriors has Draymond. Yeah, I mean, like, I think on Boston, you've seen a couple of guys that are willing to get in there and get their hands dirty, get chippy. Marcus Smart's always been one, but we don't have that dude really. Like, Caruso's kind of that guy, but like not really.
Yeah, I mean, when's the last? Yeah, I mean, he kind of is, right? But it doesn't go to the place that we want a player that's borderline. You have to look at him sometimes and be like, wait a second, was that dirty or not?
But not even that. You got to have that mix, right? Because there's some dudes that's just out here fighting. Although
we don't want that.
Hey, I'm gonna say that. Somebody said Draymond Green is just a taller Pat Beverly, and I can't unsee it. It's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't unsee it, bro.
That's funny, man.
Hey, when he said it, I was like, nah, bro. Draymond got a higher IQ. Not bad. I'm not mad at this, but I feel like you have to have that dude that has talent, right? Like Draymond Green's a defensive player of the year. He's talented.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that we were talking about I mean, like Tristan was supposed to be that goon for us, right? That was going to step up, that was going to get in your face. And yeah, Tristan can be that, but Tristan also wasn't giving us great production when he was on the court.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's where the Bulls got to find a guy that's going to set because every Bulls team we've had that's been successful had an edge, had a tone. And really every championship team you think about has that guy that
Could
has that edge.
Markieff Morris be that player if we decide to pursue him in the offseason?
Could Markieff Morris, I mean, is he going to go down like his brother? Which one went down? Marquise went down, right?
No, Marcus?
Marcus
went down.
Marcus the one went down. I mean, like, is this real tough or is this like you just got knocked over trying to be tough? You know what I mean? Like, I want to turn in his back either.
You know what? No, all jokes aside, you talk about who can we get that in the draft. I can see EJ Liddell being that player.
I haven't seen EJ in a dust up. I feel like he's got the makeup and the mentality to be that guy, but I just haven't seen EJ in that dust up. But I think right, like it irked my soul that when Alex Caruso got hurt, nobody did nothing. Nobody walked up. Nobody I don't need you come up to Grayson and jaw him real quick across the middle. But like nobody walked up and said nothing to Grayson. Nobody walked up and got in nobody's face. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look, we know how the NBA go. Like it's not the 80s and 90s no more. Like it's gonna be some jaw jacking, but show me something, right? The one time somebody on our team showed us something was in a game we getting blown out anyway, and then another grown man picked him up and carried him away. I need more. Now listen, Steven Adams can pick up most grown men and carry them away.
Yeah, if Steven Adams walks up and tries to pick you up, there's really not much you're doing about that, man. You're not really doing much.
That's what Tony Bradley said. What you want me
to But all right, man. That's next up, we're gonna be talking about how GarPax would have handled this offseason. I got an interesting, a little in on that one. But first up, got to talk to you guys about BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, news, and odds, including this year's basketball championship matchup, the NBA Finals. That's a weird way to put it in the read. The NHL Hockey Conference Finals, Major League Baseball, and of course, the latest fighting news from MMA and UFC to boxing. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information, including live betting, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, Pat. So, PTSD be damned.
That's why we put it in the middle. I made
In the
sure
middle.
we put it in the middle for you.
In the middle. It's always interesting to take a look at an offseason and see how the former regime would have handled this. And surprisingly enough, it's not a perfect comparison, so I'm not saying it's one for one because it's not. Rudy Gobert is a lot younger player and he's more healthy. But GarPax once signed a rebounding, shot blocking big that we needed at the time in one Ben Wallace, who was played a season and a quarter in the Chicago Bulls uniform before we had to trade him away.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, would GarPax pull this deal on the Rudy Gobert trade? And then what subsequent deals would they make to continue filling out the roster? How will we see this offseason going with GarPax at the helm?
Ben Wallace is a good analogy on that one.
Mhm.
The difference is, right, like when the Bulls got Ben Wallace, he was 32.
Facts.
So Rudy Gobert is probably too young to fit in with the GarPax mold at this point. He still got some good run left on them legs. GarPax like to go in and be like, is that guy half dead? We'll take him. What would you like for him? A late first? Let's make
JaVale
that
McGee all day.
JaVale McGee, which might be, I'm not gonna lie, which might be a move that gets done, but
Exactly.
they're not gonna trade for him. But how would GarPax handle this offseason? I think first things first, we would still have our second pick because GarPax would have been too scared to tamper. So we would still have our second round pick. They would sell the second round.
We wouldn't have had a
pick.
second round pick this season anyway. We haven't forfeited it yet. We wouldn't have had a second round pick this draft anyway.
Would we trade that? Is that a part of Vooch? What's the second round pick going for this year for?
I would have to do some research on that.
I thought it was forfeit. Okay, don't worry about it. Well, we'd have found a way to mess up the draft anyway. Especially at 18. We probably would have moved up to take somebody like I don't know, probably go actually get a Mark Williams, and then we would have traded him for a couple of mid-level role players. What else would we have done if GarPax was in the building? We would have sold our mid-level exception. I don't even know if you can do that, but they probably would have found a way to, right? Oh, for less money, by the way, for less money. It'd been like, what is it? It's an 11 million mid-level exception. We just sold it for 8. Just to give Jerry a little extra money to go throw at the White Sox so that they can keep paying Tony La Russa for absolutely no goddamn reason. What else would these clowns have done? I can't say clowns. Listen, they put together a couple good teams. Well, Pax did. Per Stacey King, we can't blame Pax.
It really did go left when when Pax got promoted to president of basketball operations and Gar Foreman came in as GM. That's really when things started going left.
But you know what? I can't separate them because guess what?
He allowed it.
AK's not my GM.
Yeah.
But AK is the one that comes in first when I say Acme. I'm gonna be real with you. It's sad to say, but I don't even think about Mark Eversley on a day-to-day basis. I think about AK when it comes to the ball. I don't even think about Mark Eversley. And it's sad to say, but like if I'm being real, like he's gonna get credit. He absolutely gets credit. He's done a great job. He's the reason DeMar DeRozan is here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And could be the reason we get Matisse Thybulle, which that's a whole different situation.
That's the difference. I'm gonna go. Listen, this is what the Bulls do. They trade Kobe White initially, and to keep in the mind of what they would actually do, they would trade Kobe White for Bismack Biyombo. They need a shot blocking, rebounding. Bismack Biyombo would be the pick that GarPax goes after.
So trade a guy for a guy. That's fact.
Yeah, that's what you do. And then they would turn around. They would draft Nikola Jovic because he's a foreign player. They drafted a lot of foreign players as well. But then they would turn around and trade those rights. And they would trade those rights. I don't even know who, bro. Like I don't even know. PJ Tucker. I don't know.
No, you know who they go get.
Who's it?
They trade those rights and they go get Campaign back.
Oh yeah, there you go. Because Campaign,
you got to remember they were the king of like, hey, let's run this thing back. Hey man, let's go get that guy again. Let's run this thing back.
That's just crazy.
Good Lord, yeah, GarPax. It's a. it's a weird situation to think about how they would do this, right? Because like you also have to think about everything AK did before, and I have no faith they would have gotten any of it done. Jim Boylan would have been retained.
Jim Boylan would absolutely still be the coach of this team.
Zach LaVine would
Zach
definitely
LaVine
not
wouldn't
be
have re-signed.
re-signing.
He would have been gone.
We wouldn't have Vooch. We wouldn't have Lonzo. You know what? We probably would have Lonzo, but Lonzo would be given the keys to the franchise.
Well, see, we're focusing on this offseason, though, bro, because we're going back. It's too much PTSD if you go that far.
God, sorry.
That's
I'm back.
Way too much PTSD.
No, you know what their big move would be? Let's be real. You know what their big move would be this offseason?
What's that?
Oh, they would package Kobe White and Derrick Jones for draft capital, protected draft capital in 2029.
That would never convey.
That would never turn into anything. It would be a first round top 20 protected pick and a second round pick that would turn into probably another, I don't know, Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis. I give them credit. They could find those guys. They could find Taj. They could find Daniel Gafford. They could find Bobby Portis. They couldn't find a big name. They
would offer the most possible money to restricted free agent Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh yeah,
to be our scorer off the bench.
Oh yeah,
he would get paid.
He would come in
GarPax.
making $50 million.
Yeah, more than. Well,
here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. We think Zach would leave in that situation, right? So who are they going to pay the big?
Victor Oladipo all day long.
Victor Oladipo.
Victor Oladipo would be our starting shooting guard next season if GarPax was on a max level contract, bro.
It made so much sense the second he said it. Second he said, "Hey Vic, we know you've had some injury issues, but we really love to get you in here, man, and see what you got left, man. What's going on in the tank? How old are you now?" Good Lord, we'd signed Andre Drummond, Victor Oladipo, Dante DiVincenzo.
Yep.
And who's an old star that's just is Mike Conley coming off of his deal yet?
Oh no, come on, bro. You know, because they would want Carmelo Anthony on this team. They've been going after him for so long. GarPax would absolutely sign.
No,
Carmelo
they didn't
Anthony.
want him. Remember, he played for us for an hour.
Well, he was washed up by them, but because he's looked decent, they would absolutely bring him in to be Patrick Williams' mentor.
Hey, look, he was washed up, and then Portland signed him, and he played 2 more seasons and gave them great.
Wait, hold on, we stopping because they are also. Because he's a restricted free agent, they're going to keep Troy Brown Jr. He's coming back on the roster.
Oh, Troy Brown's definitely back. He's a long-term play. Young athletic wing, baby.
Young athletic long wing. Yeah, he's absolutely coming back. He's the next Luol Deng to them.
Oh, my God, bro.
Bro, that's crazy, bro.
Oh.
And
that's why we made this the second segment. I said we can't do this on the third segment because that would be god-awful. Yeah, GarPax there would be no future. There would be no future. No, in all honesty, like at this point, right? Zach would leave. They would blow it up. They would start.
No, they would retool, not rebuild. They're running it with Victor Oladipo, and they're going to try to sell the Bulls fan base on why this is a better move.
I don't even think they could at that point, right? Because if Zach leaves, like there's literally nothing. And you got, I think you would blow it up because you got young pieces already on the team. You got Pat Will. You got. I'll be real with you. They probably wouldn't trade Kobe in that situation.
Oh no, Kobe and Patrick Williams would
be your starting tandem.
They'd be the future of this team.
They would run with the rookies. They are the young guys. They would run with Io, Kobe, P. Will would be the 3. They'd probably trade DeMar.
Oh yeah, DeMar's gone. The moment that Zach LaVine is gone, they're trading DeMar.
They would trade DeMar and they would trade Vooch. And they would blow it up, and they'd be like, "We're going to start with the young guys." And guess what? This is the thing about this, guys. We sitting here laughing.
They did this every 4 years, bro.
This is the problem. We're sitting here laughing, ha ha he. There's a lot of people in the comments that think that's a good idea.
Oh, bro, all the time. Like so many people hate GarPax, right, quote unquote. But then they suggest deals that GarPax would make
every time, bro.
It's like, hey, do you know what you're doing right now? Crazy, man. Crazy.
Oh, bro. That's hey, Bulls fans. We got AK and Mark Eversley. Come back to 2022. We got a team that was in the playoffs again. We got we got promising young stars on this team. You know what I'm saying? We got Zach LaVine possibly coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it in, Bulls fans. Enjoy it. Because for all of you Bulls fans out there that said no, going to the bottom is the best thing ever. How many of them games was you watching in those 22 win seasons?
Yeah, remember when the Bulls went from leading the league in attendance for like a decade to like people who wouldn't show up to the United Center?
Bro, but it took like 4 years into us sucking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Because
what I'm
it's
saying? It
Chicago.
took that team legit got to the point where it was like, who's in the starting lineup? Campaign, Walt Lemon Jr., Antonio Blakeney, a half blind dog that was Cristiano Felicio, and I don't know, Fred Hoiberg was playing 6 minutes still. I don't know.
That's Bulls legend Cristiano Felicio for you. But go ahead, man. We gotta get into this next segment, bro.
Hey, man, let's get into this final segment because we're going to be talking about the draft. We do got to let you know about the ultimate NBA mock draft. It starts June 16th with over 50 insiders. Nothing equals the ultimate NBA mock draft. The Locked On NBA Big Board experts, plus the Odyssey insiders. First pick is June 16th. Search Ultimate NBA Mock Draft and follow now so that you don't miss a pick. Also, we got to tell you about Sakara. Sakara, it's all about feeling good. And how do you feel good? You feel your best when feeling your best starts with what you're gonna eat. Now's the time to seek wellness, joy, and abundance in all areas of life. Starting with what you eat. With Sakara, you get nutrient dense meals, snacks, and supplements that nourish your body without ever sacrificing taste or quality. Looking and feeling your best shouldn't mean deprivation, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not losing weight just by starving myself over here. I refuse to do it. Instead, choose joy and abundance. Sakara's organic, plant-rich, transformational nutrients program are designed to help you cultivate body intelligence so you can nourish your body and experience the results you want. Sakara is a wellness company anchored in food as medicine, on a mission to nourish your body through the power of plants. And right now, Sakara is offering our listeners 20% off their first order when you go to sakara.com/locked on 20 and enter the code locked on 20 at checkout. That's sakara.com/locked on 20 to get 20% off your first order. Sakara.com/locked on 20. Let's get back to the show, man.
All right, man. So, last segment of the day, we're going to do another draft player profile, this time on Malaki Branham. Now, this is a shooting guard out of Ohio State. He 3-level scorer, puts the ball on the floor, passes very well. Not bad defensively, but particularly in pick and roll defenses, he struggles a little bit there. But a player with a lot of promise. Now, he is slated to go well above where the Bulls draft, so he may not be there. But some mocks do have him falling. Actually, in the Ringers mock draft right now, they do have the Bulls selecting him. What do you think about this prospect in Malaki Branham?
I like Malaki Branham. My only question is, right, like, where are we getting him run at? Backup 2, backup 3. He's 6'5", 180-ish, 190-ish, somewhere around there. Definitely a guy that could put the ball in the basket. Didn't shoot it. Was a pretty good 3-point shooter. You know what I'm saying? I like his mechanics. I think he should be a higher pick. I didn't see him falling in the mocks I was looking at least on CBS and a couple of them. But if the Ringers got him, I mean, the Ringers actually one of the better ones, ain't they?
Yeah, they're one of the more realistic ones, honestly.
The Ringer be a little more realistic, right? Like, but I think, right, he's one of those and where you have to ask yourself the question, like, I haven't been big on not finding somebody that can make an impact this season. I don't know if he comes out and he makes an instant scoring impact in the NBA this season, and scoring is kind of what he does well. But off of the bench, you're moving on from Kobe White. You're probably talking about him getting some good run alongside Ayo Dosunmu. My biggest question mark is, where do you plan on playing him in the future? Because unless you think he's going to be a bench piece forever, right? Like,
oh, that's easy, bro. But go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
well, I was going to say, right, do we want to keep the Patrick Williams as a power forward for the rest of our days? You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I would love to see P. Will have the ability to move back to the small forward position when DeMar DeRozan eventually does retire or leaves the Bulls or is done. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm assuming P. Will's going to be here much longer. where does Malaki Branham slide in there if you've still got a Zach LaVine?
Oh, I think easily he can be your starting three, especially if you look at after DeMar DeRozan. If there's something, because he can actually shoot threes a little bit longer, things
Yeah.
like that, he can play the three. But he absolutely can also be one of your main players off the bench to where he does get starting minutes, playing both backup for the 2 and the 3. What he does is but with his 3-level scoring ability. Now, one thing I would say he's more of a 2-level scorer because he doesn't finish around the rim with contact a lot, and that's going to be they're going to pack in the lane on him a little bit. But youngest player in the draft, the youngest, he just turned 19 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So this is one of those players that you look at, it can be an upside pick, but also has a skill that's ready to contribute now because he's a great scorer, a great cutter as well, good court vision. He can do some passing for you in the open court. When you have a player with that type of skill, I don't worry about getting the minutes because even if you have to play him slightly out of position, which the 2 is probably his best position, at least what it seems like it's going to be, but playing him at the 3, I think you can get away with that because of the offensive skills that he has. Now, defensively, it's going to be up to him to put on a little bit more weight to show that he, like I said, his on-ball defense isn't necessarily bad, but more physical offensive players coming off screens, he lacks with that. And we know NBA is a lot of screens. So what happens with that if you can shore up that part of his game?
Yeah.
But I'm not really worried about the long term. And I understand where
I
you're
think he's
going at
gonna be
with
able to
saying that.
play.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna be able to play. I think my only question with it is, right, like, and if he is getting kind of those starter minutes off of the bench, that works fine as well.
Mhm.
But as far as him being a 3, at least defensively, right? Like it's like you said, he's got to put more weight on. But he reminds me of like when we were trying to play Derrick Jones at power forward.
Well, some of his comps are Chris Middleton, who does play some 3. And as well, Kobe White played 20% of his minutes at the 3 this season. And he's much shorter with a shorter wingspan.
But I think that's also the mentality we want to do, that we want to get away from, right? Like Kobe White's entire time here. Like I think Kobe White will be able to play in the NBA.
Oh, Kobe White absolutely. He's just a 2. Like no other position. Kobe White is a 2. And he's not a shooter. To me, I know you think he's more of a shooter than a scorer, but I think Kobe White's one of those players that you have to kind of allow to do his thing.
Yeah.
And the Bulls just aren't in a position to do that. Now, Malaki Branham, you can play in that same type of role, but I think he'll thrive in it more because he's a better passer, he's a better defender, he has better court vision. He started, keep in mind, Malaki did play a lot of point guard in high school. So he built in some of those point guard type skills. I think that he'll be fine here. But that's my thing.
My concern is just always like with Bulls fans and kind of with the NBA now. It's just like, well, he'll be able to play the 3 and the 1 and the 2, and it's like everybody can't do that. Yeah, I'm saying like when Cleveland traded for Karis LeVert, I was like, that's dumb. And everybody was like, what are you talking about? That's a great get. They can get Karis LeVert. They can have Darius Garland. And I was like, Karis LeVert has been scoring 40 with the ball in his hand. He got to learn how to play off ball. No, he'll just transition into that. You never saw the same Karis LeVert again. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those where like some players can do that. Zach LaVine kind of can play point. He got to have a better handle. But Zach LaVine like understands where people are going to be on the court and can facilitate the ball to him. He can definitely play the 2. He can definitely play the 3. Kobe playing point really didn't work.
Oh,
he's the 2.
Kobe's not a point. He's a 2.
He plays some 3. Put him back at the 2. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, DeMar can play the 2, can play the 3. But even when we watch DeMar, we like, he's a 2. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I don't really see DeMar as just a 2 anymore. Like his game has evolved into a 3 to me, but he just doesn't shoot outside of fucking mid range.
For me, it's about what you can guard on the other side. And when DeMar was guarding 2s, he looked comfortable. Yeah. When DeMar was guarding legitimate 3s in the NBA, it was like, he look out of place right now. Also, DeMar guarding, he looks out of place. But still, I wonder about that with guys like we said Kobe was going to be a point guard, and he just wasn't. But at not UCLA, where'd he go? North Carolina, right? He did play point, but it was because what's his point? I'm finna go get this point.
Yeah.
I'm not facilitating the ball.
Y'all move. Watch out. I got this.
Legit. So like
Yeah.
I don't see that from Malaki Branham, but I do worry about that, just that mindset of, oh, he can play this, and this.
I mean, but the NBA is moving to a more now 3 positions is a little too much. If he can be in that a 2-3,
Yeah.
can do some facilitating. The Malaki Branham has a bright future. Like
Oh,
I feel
for
like
sure.
I almost feel like every prospect we bring up, you don't think fits the Bulls, bro. Have you thought anybody has fit the Bulls other than EJ Liddell?
Tari.
Oh yeah,
I thought
Tari. Yeah,
Tari
yeah.
didn't fit the Bulls, and Walker. I just thought Tari didn't fit the Bulls. Like
Offensively,
the timeline, how long it's going to take him to
yeah,
develop that offensive game. But
yeah.
I think Tari is going to be Bobby Portis,
Oh,
or
for sure.
better. Like Tari can,
Him and Jeremy Sohan, they're
yeah.
definitely
Yeah. No, but Malaki Branham, I actually like him as for the Bulls. I just wonder long term where he fits in. And maybe that's a problem that's just me, right? Like
yeah.
throw him at the 3 if he's coming on, it don't matter, right? Like if he can, at the end of the day, if he can put the ball in the bucket, you find a spot for
This is true. And
him.
and at this point, him being the youngest player in the draft,
Yeah.
him having so much upside, he's on most big boards, he's in the top 10 of talent. If he falls to the Bulls at 18, I think at that point you kind of have to take it based off talent, let it work out, let it work itself out at some point.
What are you prioritizing more? Because him, right? He's more of a scorer. He can
Yeah.
definitely knock down the 3. He can knock down the 2. Is he 41% from 3?
Yeah.
He can knock down the 2 at a high clip as well. You're getting that score, or prioritizing getting some more big man help, because that was a real, like, we had guys that could score. We didn't have a ton of
Yeah.
them, but we had guys that could put the ball in the bucket. But we had
Well,
nobody that could help
bottom
back
of the
up.
league in bench scoring, and no
Yeah.
team has ever made a significant run for that. I'm not necessarily saying that's what I'll prioritize. The way that I'll have to look at it is this: is that if you feel you can go out and get a veteran big,
Yeah.
especially because you want to rely on them defensively, you prioritize veteran big, and then maybe because people can come in the league and score and not necessarily understand the NBA defensive scheme yet, right? Now it depends on
No,
who
100%.
falls, huh?
I say no, 100%.
Yeah. So like it's really just, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong because of the flexibility you still have with your trade exception, with your mid-level exception, that if you do see a young scorer, then you can go out and get a veteran big. If you see a young big that you think can defensively do what you need them to do right
You
now,
can go
like
out
a
and get a
Walker
veteran
Kessler,
scorer. Yeah.
yeah, then you can go out and get a score. So I
Yeah,
think the Bulls
the
are in a
Bulls
very
got
good position.
got a lot of options going into this,
Yeah.
man, and I would, if he fail, I would have a tough time picking EJ Liddell over him,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and that's probably the dude I've been highest on. And it's the weird. See, I'm that weird person, right? Like every time the Bulls draft somebody that's like 19, I'm like, is he still growing? He's
Yeah,
still
because
growing.
we've gone through
Still
that a
getting
couple of
big.
times. Yeah, yeah.
Bro, we've gone through that multiple times. Like Luol Deng comes back, and they like, all right, Lou, so here's your jersey from what the? Did you grow? Send this back. We need 3 more inches.
Man, that's hilarious, bro. But hey,
Oh,
our boy EJ Liddell's moving up drafts too.
I
Some
know. I
mocks.
saw that. I saw
Man,
that.
I'm looking at that like, how does this man go from being projected to be a second round pick to some, like, I can't remember which one it was, had him in the lottery. I was like, come on, man.
I saw him. I saw a flip flop where he's in Charlotte and Mark Williams is here.
Yeah, okay, I wouldn't be mad at that. If that happens, I wouldn't be mad at that
I
at
saw
all.
a flip flop. Well, then I'm like, wait a minute, but that's what Charlotte need. Also Jordan, but that's what Charlotte need. Like, what y'all know?
Jordan's bound to Jordan, bro.
Jordan, I can't be mad at Jordan last few draft picks.
No,
Jordan
the
really
last few,
gotta be
no.
cooking, you
The
know what I
last
mean?
few is no. That's why I say he's bound to Jordan. It got to come back around at some point, bro.
Who's at North Carolina right now? That's what it was for a while, bro.
Maybe we can convince him to give us that
Kobe
15th pick for
White,
Kobe White. There you go.
little Tar Heel love in the building. You know what I mean? Hey, wait a minute. That's not a bad idea.
I'm just saying.
You
Man.
might be in on that.
Weirder things have happened.
Oh man. Let's do it. Somebody put the call in to Jordan. Hey man, let's get up out of here, man. There's always that awkward point where it's like, all right, we done? All right, we done. Hey, follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Also follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. We appreciate all the love you guys have shown us on Twitter and on IG, man. And also on the YouTube side, man. Make sure y'all leave a comment in the comments below.
And you can follow me at CEO Haize, CEO Haize. Thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, go and check on Locked On NBA Big Board. Listen, Rafael Barlow does his thing over there with the NBA draft. Man, he got it down to
we got to get Raphael over here, bro.
Oh, you didn't see I DM'd him. He agreed to come on the show. We just got to work out the schedule. So there you go. There you go. There you go. NBA draft, mock draft, player rankings, and of course, big boards. Go and check them out wherever you get your podcast. This has been this week for Locked On Bulls, man. We see you lovely and beautiful people next week. Peace out.
Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.